grew up with your voice in my life. Back in high school, your songs were always playing, at parties, in cars, late at night. And today, a strange thought crossed my mind. When someone is feeling romantic, when they're trying to set a mood, whose records do they actually play? I spent countless evenings listening to your music, and it made me wonder, who do you listen to? Do you put on Jerry Vale? Maybe some old favorites? It's an interesting idea, really. And the answer came calmly, almost thoughtfully. In those quiet, intimate moments, he said, he prefers refined, atmospheric pieces, music like Daphnis and Chloe or the Sunken Cathedral. Elegant, layered, timeless sounds. No distractions, nothing flashy, just music that creates a feeling. He made it clear, he doesn't bother with anything else. He knows what works. At that point, it was obvious he'd be performing again soon. A recording session was waiting that night. The band was already behind the curtain, and the applause started to roll in. Someone leaned in and said, "You're looking good tonight." And just like that, the moment shifted. That was his cue to step aside and let the band take over. Then something unexpected happened. Someone had been standing quietly in the hallway, waiting. He hadn't planned on interrupting, but when he heard that the legendary singer was in the building, he couldn't resist. He admitted he'd never met him before and didn't want to miss the chance. With a polite nod, he asked for a moment. What followed was chaos, in the best possible way. Suddenly, exaggerated stories started flying. Dramatic names, over-the-top accents. A mock crime report involving 2 bullets and a ridiculous name that barely sounded real. The audience erupted in laughter. Someone joked about the Midwest, about people always worrying whether the truck was loaded. Another voice chimed in from Jersey City, mentioning an old friend who supposedly started his car with an album playing and never turned it off again. The room was buzzing. Then came a quiet, powerful moment of truth. Here we were, people from different backgrounds, different cultures, different cities, all sharing the same space. One voice pointed it out plainly. This is what America looks like. A blend of everyone laughing together. Before anything else could happen, he needed to say something that had been on his mind for years. For over a decade, the host had teased him with the same question. Do you really know him? And now, standing face to face, he finally said it out loud. Not joking, not exaggerating. He said he admired him deeply, loved him, truly. Since he was a kid, that voice had been part of his life, part of his memories, his youth, his relationships. Those songs were there during first loves, heartbreaks, awkward moments, and big dreams. He joked about marriage, about love, about how surreal it was to imagine such a powerful voice narrating even the most ordinary moments of life. The audience laughed, but beneath the humor was genuine respect. He admitted that this night, this exact moment, was one of the most thrilling experiences he'd ever had on that stage, and he meant it. Even the host, who had seen everything, was nervous. He had pulled him aside earlier and whispered that this man was a force of nature. Then came one last story. Years earlier, long before marriage and fame settled in, he had been eating dinner in a New York restaurant with friends. Suddenly, a familiar face approached the table and asked for a favor. He explained that he was sitting with a beautiful woman and had made the bold claim that he personally knew the famous singer. She didn't believe him. He asked if the legend would stop by and confirm the story. The timing was perfect. Dinner was finished, espresso in hand, so he agreed. A few minutes later, he casually walked past the table and greeted him warmly by name. The response? Pure panic. "Can't you see I'm eating?" he snapped. "What are you doing?" The delivery was flawless, the timing impeccable. The joke landed hard. And with his mouth still open in disbelief,